This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV, and we're very pleased to be joined today by Morgan Famberg, the CEO of Glosston, to discuss marine design trends in the context of the push towards decarbonization. Morgan, to start, can you put in context the challenge ahead for ship owners and ship designers to meet emission targets of 2050 compared to any other challenge that you've seen in your career?
Well, first, Greg, thanks a lot for having me. It's a great honor to be able to speak to Maritime Reporter. So your first question, to put it into context, I started my career in 1998, and as a young marine engineer, the challenges that I faced then were taking old boats and meeting SOLAS requirements. Developing contract packages and shipyard packages for modifications for oily water separator upgrades, over the side discharge handling. So all the regulatory modifications from my early career do not compare at all to the challenges that we are facing with decarbonization and the IMO emission reduction goals. This is going to be huge for the industry to meet and unseen before, at least in my career.
Can you discuss then, how is Glosston investing today to ensure that you're well armed to meet the decarbonization challenges ahead?
Sure. At Glosston, we strongly believe in investing in our future. And historically, we've done research and development kind of ad hoc. A couple of years ago, shortly after I became president, we developed a program to really formalize our R&D. Because we know we need to use some of our profits to invest in our future, this program helps us decide what internal ideas we fund and what we might put on the shelf for later. One of the projects that I'm really excited about that we just approved recently is to develop our internal expertise on all decarbonization topics. So we're not relying on a few experts in our office to help our clients meet these challenges. I want our entire staff to be knowledgeable, our entire engineering staff to be completely knowledgeable, to be able to help our clients with whatever technologies they want to implement.
So Morgan, from the vessel owners that you work with and talk to on a regular basis, how high is decarbonization on their agenda today versus, say, 12, maybe 24 months ago?
As far as a priority, it really depends on the operator and the sector of the industry that they're in. If you operate a passenger vessel on a route suitable for electrification, decarbonization is a priority. You are certainly looking at battery technology and how you can implement that into your fleet. If you're an owner of an aged fleet with little capital, you're just trying to keep up with maintenance, and decarbonization may only mean finding a way to reduce fuel consumption. If you remember, I just testified in front of Congress not too long ago, and a big part of that was to get the federal government, through MARAD and the DOE, to start funding grant opportunities, so operators and owners actually have the capital means to meet some of these challenges. It's not going to happen unless we can find a partnership on both ends.
So Morgan, I know as we push towards decarbonization or emission reduction, that there are many challenges. What do you see as the highest hurdle today?
Well, first and foremost, the technology must be proven to be readily available and reliable. Once that has been accomplished, the hurdle will be cost. There's no question about it. It must cost less to build and operate vessels with these new technologies, or we, again, might not meet the IMO reduction goals. So specific examples of those hurdles are, carbon neutral fuels like biodiesel. They're going to need a subsidy to be the same or less cost. Ammonia and hydrogen will require significant capital investment, both in propulsion plants and the distribution infrastructure. We did see this with the implementation of LNG. So we have an example where there was a significant cost discount compared to low sulfur diesel. So you could see the energy behind LNG because of those elements. And finally, electrification of vessels, where the initial cost of a battery plant is expensive and the shore-based infrastructures don't exist. But the life cycle cost could, in some cases, in a lot of cases, be cheaper than traditional diesel plants.
Do you see a single fuel, a single technology or technique that will go furthest, fastest to help meet these emission reduction goals?
Well, if only I had a crystal ball. If I could predict this with some level of assurance, it would be amazing for Glosston and for me. But we are actually seeing some early winners in this race. Two things need to happen for a fuel or technology to win. One, again, the fuel needs to be produced at scale from a green source of energy without a huge premium over diesel. Of course, hydrogen and ammonia are widely available today as industrial chemicals with a distribution network in place, but neither are produced at scale from green sources of energy. There are a number of green hydrogen pilot projects planned right now, so it's moving in the right direction. And then two, the on-vessel propulsion systems need to be commercially available and proven. Commercial fuel cells, hydrogen and ammonia fuel combustion engines are in development, but it's going to take some time. So right now, there's no clear winner. I've joked with other people, and Greg, you'll remember, you'll appreciate this. Back when personal computers were all the rage, there were, 20 different companies, Atari, Compaq, Commodore, IBM, Apple. And I used to joke with my dad about, hey, why didn't you invest in Apple? And he just would explain to me there were all these options, and the winners, it might not have been the best that came out of it, but it was the best for cost, availability, and the best marketed. So that's what's going to drive the winners here.
Can you discuss if Glosston is engaged in any industry projects with outside stakeholders or organizations that are aiming to jointly develop a solution?
Sure. So Glosston is a founding member of the nonprofit organization called Washington Maritime Blue. So this organization, their goal is to connect maritime businesses to progress the industry through different projects. So our all-electric foil ferry project is a Washington Maritime Blue joint innovation project. So not only are we working with the great engineers at Beaker Boats, but the project has developed partnerships with other local port authorities, vendors, manufacturers, and regulators. So a perfect example of a project that is going to advance the decarbonization goals through partnerships.
We recently reported on an all-electric ferry designed for Skagit County Public Works. Can you give us an overview of the project, the ferry, with technical insights and an update on where that is today?
Yeah, sure. But first, I just want to tell you how much of a pleasure it has been working with Skagit County on this project. Working with a group that is so motivated to replace their aging vessel, it's been just a fantastic experience for us. So we started working with Skagit County Public Works in 2017, initially just studying their future transportation system needs. Their existing, ferry is 40 years old and due for replacement. Because their route is only a half mile from Anacortes to Guimas Island, it's perfect. It's a perfect environment and scenario for an all-electric ferry. After delays in securing funding, the project picked back up in 2019. Earlier this year, Skagit approved our preliminary design of a double-ended ferry that can accommodate 28 cars. This will be an all-electric ferry with redundant battery banks, a split main DC bus, and also has a backup generator. So in the event that there's an emergency on the island, we need to get emergency vehicles back and forth. They're not going to have the battery capacity for that. So we have this backup generator for peak, above peak demand. The large tidal ranges in this channel we see have created some interesting challenges to integrate the ship charging equipment, but we've developed a couple different concepts, and we have submitted environmental permit applications for that. Also, finally, because it's really important for this project to have a single integrator for the electrical systems on the ship and the shore, we have supported Skagit with the release of the electrical integrator RFP. So that RFP is on the streets right now. Selection will be probably made in October. Then we can start finishing up the contract design and then proceed to the construction phase. So very promising and really exciting to see that project move on.
Are there any other recent additional projects that illustrate how Glosston is engaged in this decarbonization challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to supporting clients on fuel and propulsion plant, and on that side of decarbonization, we're also active in the green energy sector, specifically the wind industry. So our Pellistar floating wind turbine platform is gaining attention. We recently partnered with General Electric on the ARPA-E Atlantis project. So GE designed and developed advanced controls to support a 12 megawatt wind turbine based on our Pellistar platform. So this resulted in the design of a lightweight floating turbine that will significantly reduce the cost of energy. So hopefully with that project and some other things we have in the works, we're really hopeful that we will see floating wind turbines mounted on our Pellistar platform in the near future. So.
Okay, well, Morgan, it's these gargantuan technical challenges that keep us all gainfully employed. So again, I appreciate your insights, and I look forward to catching up with you and your team in the future.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for talking to me today.